Ruzaman, the famous Ruzaman is here.
Ruzaman just called in.
Yes.
Oh, this is awesome. Ruzaman, our most loyal fan. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
Good, good, good. What do you got on your mind?
Well, first it was the Hamilton. I kind of missed the first part of it. Yeah, the only thing that bothered me, I love the fact that he won. I'm kind of low key Hamilton fan, so the fact that you got the AlphaTauri and then you got Alonso just basically move out of the way for Max. So I was kind of annoying about it. Like, no, when Hamilton was behind you guys, at least against last, I think it was 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was in Mexico. And he had Tsunoda in front of him. He struggled to pass him for a long time. Then the race that Ocon won, basically Alonso made his life impossible. And then out of nowhere, they can just pass because, you know what? One doesn't like Hamilton, the other one is a Red Bull driver. So I kind of feel like at this point, they have to play with all the cars they have, which is try to use whatever team you support, because Mercedes has a lot of engines out there. So they can play that card. And both of us have to actually be up there because we got to a point that Hamilton is just hiding two guys at the same time. And he's actually doing better than anybody expected at this point. So I kind of feel like both of us has to step in and help him out a little bit because he's going to win this championship. If he wins the next race, I have no doubt he's going to win it. Unless Max do what he does, which is just go through you because he had to pull out of the first corner. He always does that, so he did it to his own teammates. So we know what to expect from him. With all respect, he's a great driver. I'm not gonna say he's not, but I do believe that drivers that have nothing to do with the championship, which is I would say Alonso is one of them, shouldn't be staying on the way. He blocked Hamilton as much as he could, and then at the end he said, "Well, I have to have Max." So I didn't like it. I said, nah, you have nothing to do with it. Just stay away. Let them fight it. I understand when Gasly got out of the way because the Red Bull basically told him because you can see on the video that he left his DRS closed because he didn't want to, So by the time that Max passes by him, he just opened it. I said, wow, that's what. Oh, well, we know what you did. But Alonso didn't put no effort, no fight, no nothing. He just let him by. In the other races, he makes everybody's life impossible. He did it to George Russell when he was fighting with Russell for 10 positions, I believe. I don't remember what race was that. But now he's doing it, and to me, it's annoying. You get to a point in the championship that you got these two drivers that really want to battle out. They really fighting for it, and you got other players trying to make it easy for this one or that one. If you're gonna do that, and Mercedes do it, and Red Bull does it, it doesn't become a race between Hamilton and Max anymore. Now it's a race between whose team has more loyal people behind them.
Yeah, it's almost becoming like Survivor. The show Survivor, where it's like the most popular person is the one who's going to stay. The person doing the best is got the most villains on the show, So like you said, like Lewis Hamilton, I think everybody wants to knock the king off the mountain, and that's what Lewis Hamilton is right now. So it does. I think you're right, Ruzaman. It does seem like some of the other drivers are, whoever can knock off Lewis, they're going to help that driver. Brendan, you were gonna chime in on this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have talked about that, Ruzaman, this past week and in the past couple of days, I should say, about how Max pretty much or Red Bull used their might to move out of those cars that were in front of them pretty much out of the way to allow him to get up there to fight with with Lewis. And I totally get it. I mean, I'll give him credit. And the turn one, he made a couple of good moves to get himself from P7 to P4. But then after that, that's when politics pretty much came into play. And Red Bull started getting on the phone to move teams out of the way. And I disagree with that, just like you do, Ruzaman. I think it's unsporting to say the least. And I don't think it should be allowed going forward. I think it's something that Formula One needs to look at going forward. They shouldn't be able to communicate to another team in particular when Red Bull says to AlphaTauri, get out of the way. Like, are we competing at this point? Is Pierre Gasly competing? Pierre Gasly was the one that was stuck in the toughest position, a guy that has been obviously wanting to go back to Red Bull for a while now. And so he was stuck being like, I have to get out of the way pretty much.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him there. And then the Fernando Alonso thing is key. It's clear too. He is upset that Lewis Hamilton has won 7 world titles, is about to possibly win 8, and he's only got 2. And people don't talk about him enough on the grid. People don't talk about him enough in general as being one of the best drivers of all time. I think it comes down to a lot of jealousy. So he will do anything he can to help Max try to attack Lewis. And that's exactly what you saw him do. And just quickly, that's why we heard Alain Prost come out with that comment that, I believe Fernando is the best driver on the grid. That's bullshit. We all know it.
It is. I mean, everybody supports one person, so I feel bad because Lando was 4th and ended up 10. So I was like, man, I thought we had this one. I'm a huge Lando and George Russell fan, so I love Lewis. I've been watching, I would say, since 2010, I believe. I've been watching F1. So around the time he came in, I think it was 2010. No, I think he came in 2000. I'm not sure what year he came in. But
7, I believe.
When he came in, he was he was McLaren's driver. Yes, because Schumacher was still, Barrichello was Schumacher's teammate when I started watching Formula One. So he always had this poise of being better than everybody because of his background. You know, he had nothing. He had to fight for everything. And certain people, I think they didn't like that. And you're not supposed to make it when you don't have money in Formula One. So he just proved everybody wrong. So I love the drive in him to always prove everybody wrong.
We'd love to hear your comments and topics on. We did Formula D, which we talked about, was topic number 3.
Yes.
Where we said there should be more of a development series for minorities and people with less money instead of having money just win out.
Right.
Yes, I heard that one. I had an opinion on it. The other thing that I had was, if they start with the development Formula D, like you said, I think they should mix it up, because at one point that you got a lot of other people, you got females that want to be part of it, and for some reason they haven't been able to get into the sport. So I would like to see more of a mix of a man and female in the same sport and battle it out, and whichever is better gets the win. So when you were saying it, I said, yeah, I like that idea. I haven't thought about it. But like, yeah, that's actually very good, because you always, F1 and F3 is just like, F2 and F3 is just like you said, just a bunch of money that people just put in there and let you. But if you start with the FD, like you said, I would say a Formula D, I would say it would be very good if you have 2 different genres on it, because you can have females and males racing at the same time, and you can open doors for other people that haven't had the opportunity yet. I know Mercedes is actually one of the biggest when it comes to diversity in the sport, and mostly because of Lewis, because he did everything. Mercedes, I would say, because of Lewis, so they kind of support him anyway, shape or form. So I would like for other teams to join the Mercedes on that point and actually start with it and have females, males, people that have nothing, just given opportunity. They might be the best ever, like Lewis is, and you never know, because they don't have the money to put up front, because you got big sponsors and all this and that. So it's kind of, it's fair. It's actually a good idea. FIA should think about it, and actually, because they want money at the end of the day. Their point is the money, and our point is the sport. But I would like to see more of the sport than the money. So if they bring other people that can be good at it, we never know, because they don't do it, because they don't have the money to put up front. It's millions of dollars. You got to bring sponsors in. in order for you to be part of it. You know, not everybody that struggles made it all the way up to the top. Actually, I think Lewis is the only one that did it.
And Esteban Ocon, Ocon.
Yeah.
Ocon, yes, but Ocon hasn't been up there since he made it to the Formula One. You know, he got dropped by Red Bull, then picked up again. Not like Lewis. Lewis haven't been dropped by nobody.
True.
He actually left to go somewhere else. So.
Yeah, I think Ruzaman, I think that makes total sense, man. We really appreciate that too, and we talked about that a lot earlier in the show. So Ruzaman, thank you so much for calling in, man.
No problem, buddy.
We really appreciate your loyalty too and chiming in every week in the live chat. Now calling in, call back anytime you want, man. We really appreciate it.
Yes, no problem, man. I like the show. I'll be here next week again, and you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, man. You too. Have a happy Thanksgiving, man.
All right, bye.
All right,
have a good night, man.
Just one more thing before we wrap up, folks. Great to hear from Ruzaman. We also had Jabbar760 chime in and say, we were talking about you were talking about, Brennan, USC coming back to prime time, being one of the top teams in college football again. And Jabbar760 also said, you and me both, SC needs a comeback. So, you know, we got another fan out there, Jabbar760. Thank you so much for chiming into our live chat. Make sure you subscribe, and thank you once again. We're all on the same page there. We want Southern Cal football back into the fold as well. So we really appreciate all the fans here tonight. Ruzaman Reese calling in, one of our most loyal fans. Jabbar760, thanks again for dumping into the live chat. Folks, you can always do that on this show. You just saw Ruzaman Reese call in. Our call-in number was on throughout the show, so make sure you call into our show if you want to talk to us. Or again, once the show's over, you can leave a voicemail. Make sure you do that. And you can also dump in that live chat on YouTube and add some of your comments there too while the show's going on as well. And of course, Brandon and I's Twitter handles are at the bottom of the screen, so check those out, and you can leave us a comment or follow us on Twitter. We always post our links out on those sites as well. So, Brandon, any final thoughts before we sign off here on Comeback Sports?
Yeah, I'm glad you gave it to me. Just quickly, you talked about how Bill O'Brien was good at Penn State. He's been good as the offense coordinator at Alabama. I'll tell you when it went wrong for him as the Texans, when he said, you know what, I'm going to ship out my best player, DeAndre Hopkins. That's when it just all fell apart for him there. So I just want to leave it with that, and maybe you can give me a quick retort. And then I also want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of our loyal viewers out there. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, much appreciated. I think Bill O'Brien, the general manager, as soon as he got that job, hurt Bill O'Brien, the coach, which we've seen a million times in the NFL and the NBA. So I think Billy O will do a much better job in the college ranks. But yes, thank you to all of our fans. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you next time on Comeback Sports. Don't eat too much. Actually, eat as much as you want tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving. Good night, everybody.